wonder if it's possible for us to take a look at something together. The fact that insanity is us. To be insane really is only a problem if we do not see our insanity. If we can see our insanity, observe it, watch its movements, every nuance of it, then the insanity is completed and we become sane. I know this is a silly conversation to have, but it's one we can toss around, if you will. So when we each accepted the world our parents, let's call it, offered us, it's a whole lot stronger than offered us, but at any rate, the moment we accepted the world that we were born into, we left the world that we were born as. We were born as the intelligence of the universe. The intelligence of anything has the ability to discover its flaw. And the discovery of the flaw is the creation of a new intelligence. The moment we accept the world that our parents accepted it, we accepted insanity. We accepted a world where, as I've said so often in all of these, if you've listened to any of the other conversations that we've had, a world where women are raped and fights occur and we tell each other we love each other and then we fight, argue, and we go to war and we fight and argue some more and we can't even get along in one country, much less the world. We call ourselves idiotic things like Americans and Japanese and Chinese, and we're even so dumb we call ourselves men and women. And so the problem here is twofold. The first problem is you are insane. The second problem is there is collective insanity. One causes the other. The greatest one obviously is collective insanity, because collective insanity invites you to follow. Come join us. Grab women between the legs and go to church on Sunday and pray for somebody to come in and save us. Don't do a thing ourselves. Pray for the chariot of fire or whatever it is. So the suggestion I have here is for you to observe the fact that insanity is us. Insanity is you. And there's a simple, it's a simple fix, if you will, for those of you who like fixes. And the fix is to give up yourself 100%. And here's the interesting thing about it is the religions, those people who put forth the books and the God and the Jesus stuff, they discovered these things thousands of years ago and they described them. They put them there for other people to see. And other people made beliefs of them. They begin spreading God belief, the most dangerous and the thing that's killed more people than any other thing on our planet is God belief. Because they discovered that in order to escape the insanity that your parents left you, forced you into, if you will, you accepted, by the way, you have to give up yourself. Well, they added another ingredient. They added you got to give yourself to God or Jesus. And 99% of that is true. Because if you give up yourself, then you do have that possibility. But if you give it up for a Jesus or a God, somebody's been gone for 2,000 years, something like that, if he was ever here to begin with, or an image in the sky, then there's nobody left there. If you simply give up your way of being your whole life and then see what happens, not having given it up to some image, not having given it up to some belief, because belief blocks intelligence. And the largest, most dangerous, longest living belief we've had on our planet is God belief. So if you give up belief in its entirety, by the way, belief is bigger than God. There's one thing bigger than God, and that's belief. Because anyway, I think you get it. If you take away the belief, then God is gone. Now, not to say that that's true. If there is a God, there is a God. If there isn't a God, there isn't a God. Belief doesn't make one or take it away. Belief can certainly bend it, put it in whatever way it wants it to be. So if you can see the insanity of living in the world that your parents presented to you, which is a world of violence, our children being shot in school, and interestingly, in America, every time our children are shot in school, gun sales go way up. Bullets, people buy more bullets. The bottom line is insanity is us, and it is collective insanity. Collective insanity is always brought forth or manifest from individual insanity. The moment collectively we reach the critical mass, we moved from creating our lives from nothing to bringing forth our lives from something. When you bring forth your life from something, it means you're bringing your life forth from your history, which means you're bringing forth your history. That's why history repeats itself, my mistake. In creation, is brought forth from nothing. It notices its flaw, and from the flaw, which is a mistake, if you will, a new creation happens. In order for that to be, we must see that insanity is us. So just as a suggestion, if you're married or in a relationship with someone, if you have someone in your circle that you are close to, that the two of you cohabit or are married or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, then you might experiment with going to them and saying, I give 100% of my life to you. Now, it's almost the same, except much, much better than, well, if there's anything called better, that's kind of silly, giving your life to Jesus Christ or giving your life to God or Allah. Because who are you giving your life to? An actual person that's there. And then if you really observe, you'll see that your illnesses, your sicknesses, your health will improve 100%. Because then you will be, well, at any rate, that's the thing you need to discover. You'll be concerned about them and not you. Now, hopefully, if you were to do that, the result on the other end would be that they would say, okay, I give 100% of my life to you. Now, just to clarify things, when you say I give 100% of my life to you, and perhaps they say the back, that means all of the other things disappear. It means everything else is null and void. And then there's only the two of you. And then together, you can walk in unison, fused, if you will. And from there, the transformation of the entire planet will happen. So if you can see that insanity is us, then look at the fact that you are the insanity of our planet. And the planet is the same insanity because there isn't any separation. So what is it then you might consider experimenting with? You might experiment with, you are 100% wrong in everything that you do. All of it. The moment you accepted your parents' world, everything in your life that you did has been a lie. And the news gets worse. If you happen to be successful in this insane world, it only means that your insanity is larger. It's a greater level of insanity. Also, it means you're going to be praised and followed and you're going to be wonderful. You're going to make it to the newspapers. And wait a minute, they don't have newspapers anymore, do they? You'll be on Forbes 500 or whatever those things are. For some reason, the greater the insanity in an insane world, the more we worship them, the more we hold them. Bill Gates and who's that? Fossey? Not Fossey, that's the doctor. That guy that has Amazon anyway. We hold them as heroes when in fact, look, the greater level of success you achieve on an insane planet, the greater level of insanity you are. It's because you give up, not just because, but all these other people are trying to be just like you. So they read books. How do I become a millionaire? How do I make what do I need to do to, look, the only thing you need to do to become a millionaire, billionaire is take advantage of everybody else. Make sure you find out something they don't know and then beat them with it. They'll pay you. I mean, look at our past president. He's worth billions and billions and billions of dollars, he says. And he's begging for money to get out of debt. And guess what? They're sending him money. People who can't even pay their own bills, sending him money. And he was the leader of the free world, by the way. If you need a little push to see your insanity. You live on a planet where a fellow said, I grab women by that, whatever they think they call that, between their legs, and I do whatever I want to do with them. And we have to hit back twice as hard as we are hit. And beat the shit out of them, and I'll pay the bill. Carry them out on a stretcher. And that person was elected president, the leader of the free world, by the religious people. 61 million religious people. Anyway, I'm getting off. People don't like it when I bring the real world into these esoteric conversations. So if you would consider that insanity is you. I was told when I was 15, walked by a fellow in St. Clairsville, Ohio, and somehow we had a brief conversation. He said, you do realize everybody on planet Earth is crazy, don't you? And I looked at him and I said, well, I don't know, but if that includes me, I'm going to find out whether I'm crazy or not. And then I found out I was crazy. And that's when sanity was born. Sort of like the moment a person discovers their stupidity is the moment intelligence is born. It takes intelligence to discover stupidity. It takes knowledge and thought and belief to continue the stupidity to thousands of years of wars. And look where we are now. Although Joe Biden is, in America here at least, is doing some things. But hopefully won't get back to normal. We need an entirely new way of being, not to get back to what they call normal. All right. A perfect experience is sent to each of you to create the energy that you need to discover your own insanity. You then will live in ecstasy, a place where sad and happy can't be. There's only perfection, or for you, there's probably none left if there's any religious people. That is heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is when you simply speak the truth. You do not lie. That's heaven.